Hello everyone, I'm Dwayne, the caretaker. As you can see, I'm flying solo today, so watch out. Alright? So, I am here to talk to y'all this episode about a place I spent a lot of time in. If y'all have heard me talk before, I've been in the military for 8 years. I spent a little over 2 years in South Korea, and those are the movies we're going to watch today.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Monster Dome. I'm one of your hosts, stand-up comedian Sean Dills with Dwayne the Caretaker. We got some cool shit for you this week. First off, I made an oopsie doopsie racism on the last episode. I said we're going to watch this movie called Wailing. Turns out it's a Japanese movie, not South Korean. I'm not racist. Okay, anyway, so we're not going to be watching that. However, we will be watching the first season of True Detective, which is pretty cool. I had a lot of fun watching that. And the 2016 film, The Wailing.
Okay. We're also going to watch the 2016 Train to Busan and the 2020 sequel, Peninsula.
Alright, lots of cool stuff to watch. Not quite on, but a bunch of really cool stuff to watch. So stay tuned, we're going to review all these things right in a moment. Hey guys, it turns out I've been making a mistake every single week since like the beginning of the show. I've been calling this thing like Goose Geek, but it's actually Goose Creek, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Goose Creek. I'm pretty sure I said it wrong every fucking time. But we do got a new candle from Goose Creek, and this is the Candyland Mr. Mint candle. And I remember I had Candyland as a kid. Did you have Candyland?
Yeah.
Fun fact: when I was playing with my mom, and when she went to the bathroom, she came back. I ate it, the board. Damn. What do you think of that?
That's pretty strong there.
It smells like a candy store.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. They say it was mint.
Mr. Mint. It's the
It
character.
doesn't smell a whole lot like mint though.
It smells like a candy store.
Yeah.
Like you go
More
up to
bubblegum type smell and stuff.
like say you go to the up in for those who don't live in Tennessee. Or like you go up to like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and get those old style candy stores. It's kind of what it smells like. Oh wait, I need to light it. I'm gonna get it this time. I was watching footage on the last episode. I was like, I studied your technique, so I'm gonna try it out.
3 hours later.
Oh, I got all three. Trifecta, look at that. Oh yeah. Yeah, it took 7 episodes to fucking learn how to light a candle. But that thing smells pretty fucking good. So guys, this is another edition of Horror Around the World Tournament. And we're going over 12 different countries and seeing which country has the best horror films. As you guys know, Germany has already been knocked out of the tournament, and this week we're going to knock out another country. And right now we have in third place we have France. So if France doesn't do it this week, they're out. In second place right now we have China, and in first place we have Australia. Now today we're going to do South Korea. So let's see how South Korea does, if it's going to make it on the leaderboard, knock France out, or maybe fall short and be out of tournament with Germany. We're going to find out real soon. It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings. Our first review of the night, we have the 2016 film, The Wailing. The Wailing. Am I saying it right?
Wailing.
Wailing. The Wailing. Let's check it out.
이렇게 소문이 바다한 말이요? 무슨 이유가 있는 거요? 이유가
요새 자꾸 동네에서 사람 죽어나가는 거 그놈이랑 뭔 연관이 있는 거요?
싹 다 그 양반이 오거나 생긴 일들 아니오? 맞는가?
이 뭐가 이제 이거 뭐야 이거?
아따.
자네 며칠 전에 만나면 안 되는 것을 만난 적 있지? 아내가 그곳을 건드려 버렸어?
똑같아요 증상이 사람들이. 그놈이 자꾸 눈에 빼는 것은 그놈이 자꾸 찾아갖고 빼는 것이라. 피를 말려 죽이려고.
그놈은 그냥 미끼를 던져본 것이고 자네 딸내미는 그곳을 확 물어본 것이요.
내 눈깔을 직접 봐야 쓰겠다.
Dwayne, we watched this one literally yesterday, so it's very fresh in my mind. What did you think of The Wailing?
I really enjoyed The Wailing.
Yeah.
When I first started watching it the first time, a couple days ago, a week ago, I was watching it and just character development. I'll start with that.
Yeah.
You start to see this family, you start living their life with them, you see how they live. Like I said, I was in Korea. I've seen houses that the Koreans live in, and that kind of looks like their housing and stuff. It's like everyday life for somebody, and it's what happens when something, shakes up the everyday foundation of a family. And the character development was awesome. I liked the twist, and then at the end there was another twist.
A bunch of twists. I saw one coming. I didn't see the other 20 coming, but I saw one coming. I want to add on to it. Not only was the character development good, but boy, the fucking acting was good too. I mean, actually, all three films we watched tonight, there are some good actors.
Yes.
Like, but this one was really great. Like, I mean, there's probably like, I don't know, 15 scenes where they're crying and holding each other, and so I was like, damn, you really start caring for these guys. So let's go over the plot a little bit. The main character, I'm not good with names, especially from other countries. We're going to call him the main character. He is a cop in South Korea. I think he's a sergeant. And he's not a good cop. I almost felt like we're watching like a Korean version of Police Academy. But it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of added a charm to it. Like, he's kind of a goofy guy. His whole crew. It was just, you spent a lot of time with him with the cop too, and at first you're like, I think he's too stupid to solve this, as this is like an actual thing, but it did pick up. Like at first, there's some parts that were kind of goofy, but boy, the more you get into it, the more serious it gets, the more, he kind of forgets that goofy shit later on. After like the first hour, all that's done. And because things are affecting his family, it gets way more serious and way darker. Dwayne, what else did you think about this movie?
Just some of the foreshadowing. Like the first scene in the movie is the Japanese, which is like the Japanese man, which is kind of like the antagonist. He's fishing. Later on, they talk about why did something happen to the policeman's daughter, and like why did she get picked? And it's like the guy was just out fishing.
Yeah.
He
said you never know what you
catch unless you go out fishing, and that was the first thing. That's the first thing you see in the whole movie with the Japanese guy is he's just baiting a hook, and he later on learned that that's what he did to entice the little girl.
Yeah. By the way, there's like one Japanese guy in this whole movie, and everybody refers to him as the Jap. I was like, God damn, did Popeye the Sailor Man write this? Because there's an old cartoon where he's on his little boat singing about how he don't like Japs and shit.
You're a sap, Mr. Jap.
There's also this like demon guy out there who wears like, they called it a diaper. It looked like a thong. And he's like eating carcasses and shit. And there's a lot of freaky things going on. People are becoming possessed. And like, damn, there's a lot of different little threads like what could be, going on here. It's almost, It's almost like a South Korean version of The Exorcist in a way, just a lot longer. And man, this movie can be very intense at times. Like, I mean, I know I was talking to my dad about watching. He goes, I can't sit there and read that stuff. I was like, I'm telling you, like you don't think you would want to, but like it didn't bother me. And in fact, this movie was 2.5 hours, and I never once got bored with this whole film. It was, and that's one thing about movie. If you want to make a movie, I think the biggest sin, worse than bad acting and bad writing, is making it boring. I can forgive everything else to some extent, but if it's boring, what do? You're just wasting everybody's time.
Oh yeah, it's not boring. There's some intense scenes. There's a scene where the cop confronts the Japanese guy at his house, and does something to one of the Japanese guys, say his dog.
Yeah.
They go to his house and they find like pictures of people have died. Like he said, it's like the Japanese guy puts like a curse on the town, and different people start going crazy and doing bad things. And as it goes along, it gets worse, and it starts going to killings and stuff, and it's just a really good executed movie. Like you said, the acting is great. You actually feel for the characters, the character development, and it's just there's a lot of suspense, but then when it turns into almost like a demon possession movie towards the end, and it's a really good movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot.
All right. Spoilers ahead. I want to talk about some spoilers. So, dude had all these pictures of these people, I think rightfully died, and I heard this thing like, in some worlds and some different cultures, the supernatural things. There's a thing about taking your picture, they get your soul. Yeah. I think the Amish couldn't have a thing where they don't like their pictures taken. I don't know anything about South Korea or their culture. It probably would have helped me a lot understanding this movie if I did. But I was like, I wonder if that's something in South Korea, because like I was like, I wonder if him taking the picture is like taking their soul.
No, I think it's just like a lot of serial killers will take mementos.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think he took pictures of them while they're alive, and then they said to take pictures of them after they were dead. So he was at the crime scene, so they knew he was involved with it somehow. So just alive, see, this is what they look like live, and this is what they look like after I did what I did.
Here's what I didn't get. The very first time they go to the Japanese guy's house, dude finds a room full of all the pictures, all this stuff. He has the other cop, the main character's daughter's shoe in there, and they don't arrest him. Why didn't they arrest him right then and there? I figured that would be enough. Now, granted, they didn't get a warrant, and they just busted in. So maybe they didn't get one because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know how things work in Korea if you need a warrant, but I was like, I figured that was enough fucking evidence. Of course, when they came back, all that was destroyed. I kind of want to just dive in here a little bit to the ending. What's that guy, the devil? The Japanese guy?
Devil or demon or something.
Yeah, I mean, at first, like at one point they beat the shit out of him, looked like they murdered him. I was like, because they think he's the bad guy. And the one thing I called was, I don't think he's the bad guy. And he wasn't the bad guy. He's just one of the bad guys. And then, like, the preacher character, what was his name? Email?
I think so.
He finds him in a cave, and he goes, who do you think I am? He goes, I think you're the devil. I was like, that's stupid, he's the devil. And then, like, sure shit, like 10 minutes later, he's taking pictures of the preacher, and he turns into a demon. I was like, well, okay. I don't know. There's some twist. Like I said, the Japanese guy, he's not bad, and then this one goes, she's the bad one, and then there's someone else turns out to be bad too. It's like, how many fucking bad guys are running around here? I don't know, Dwayne. That part I didn't really care for. It was how many, maybe too many things going on at once.
Yeah, we were talking about that. It's like there's too many twists. They try to say the whole movie that the Japanese guy is a bad guy, and then they have like a Korean shaman try to get the spirit out of the little girl and leave, and then he's like, it didn't work. You know, the dad goes crazy because the little girl's having convulsions, and he stops the ritual.
Do you think that would have killed her before he stopped it?
Maybe not. But
he did see that one person have a convulsion and their neck break.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would understand it because he saw that, because that scene was in the movie, and he said, I don't want her neck to break. But in hindsight, anyway, yeah, they did this whole shaman thing, and it looks like she's about to get the exorcism taken out of it, and she begs him to stop. He tells him to quit, go home. And I was like, damn, they should have just let it play out. But
yeah, and after that, there's a couple scenes where you think maybe the Japanese guy was not evil, maybe he was possessed, and the demon left him and went to somebody else. Maybe it wasn't him.
yeah.
And then you see another, like a female spirit, who's saying, no, it is him. And then the other guy's saying, no, it's the female spirit that's evil. So you're like, one person, you have like two different people telling them it's the other person. You don't know who to believe until the ending.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and spoil the ending here a little bit. It ends with him thinking the ghost girl was the bad one. And she goes, hey, don't leave here until the rooster crows 3 times. And he leaves right at 2. Because he's like, no, she's the bad one. He goes home and everybody's fucking murdered but his daughter. The demon inside of her made her kill his wife and mother. And him, too. I think she killed him, too, yeah. And I was like, damn. Damn, what would have happened if he waited to 3? Do you think the demon would have killed herself?
Maybe he would have survived.
He would have survived.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think was going to happen. But I was like, damn. And you spend this whole time with his family, 2.5 hours. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And you really start to get nuts. Like, damn. I'm okay with bad endings in movies sometimes, but if I'm going to spend a lot of time with, I don't want it to be, especially, to me, what makes a good movie is revisability, or rewatchability. And if it's going to have, all that time and you know it's going to be a sour ending, I might not go back to it as often, I'm just, as a small nitpick, I was like, it's a long time to watch for everybody to get killed at the end. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll go with you with that one. It was a lot of character development. I loved it. It was a great movie, and then I think they just tried to overthink it and make them, let's do this twist, let's do this twist, let's twist here, and at the end you're like, well, it was pretty much what we thought from the beginning.
Yeah.
So maybe one less twist would not have been so bad if they take that out and made it 10 minutes shorter or something.
Turns out the shaman was evil too.
Yeah, the shaman is actually in league with the demon. The Japanese guy is the demon possessed or whatever, and demon himself or devil, whatever it is. Yeah. But the ending is actually, like you said, the little transformation. He's talking to the Korean priest, and then he's like, who do you think I am? He's like, you say, you're a devil. He's like, am I the devil? And then all of a sudden he starts to transform.
That was a cool scene.
And then it cuts away, then he cuts back, and he's like even more transformed. He cuts away and cuts him back. At the end, he's got long fingernails and glowing eyes, and his skin colors change. It was really good.
He was taking a lot of pictures of the priest. That's why I think he was taking the soul. I don't know, at the end he's like,
I thought maybe that was his next victim.
Yeah, I guess that's what he was doing. He was about to kill him. Alright, Dwayne, your final thoughts and grade?
Really good movie. Lot of character development, really good. I think maybe there's too many twists at the end. People got carried away at the last minute and just tried to change it up a lot just to throw people off. But it was still a really solid movie up until a little bit at the end. So I'm going to give it about 7.
Okay. Here are my pros and cons to The Wailing. Pros: great visuals and set pieces. I absolutely love a lot of the opening shots where it's like the pouring down rain at murder scenes. I don't know why. I really like that. The great acting, great character development. They definitely knew how to make something suspenseful. Boy howdy, There's a lot of suspenseful scenes in this movie, and every one of them was great. Didn't get bored once during this 2.5-hour runtime. My cons: a sour ending to a movie I spent a lot of time investing in. Nobody really won besides the bad guys, and maybe one or two many plot threads we could have done without. Alright, my final score for The Wailing is, I'm giving it 8 bumbling Korean cops out of 10. It's Tasia, Tasia, Tasia. It's Tasia.
That's me!
The Tasia Review Show, starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of The Wailing, and I really enjoyed this movie. I would definitely watch this movie again.
Hey guys, I know a little quick update that me and Tasia are engaged. Yeah, we're getting married. We'll get married next year.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we honestly considered getting married right here in the Monster Dome.
Yeah.
But they were like, where's everybody going? Shit. So that got X-nayed. But, you know, we'll keep you guys posted on our wedding, which will be for 1 year from today, or just 1 year from now. I'm not exactly.
Oh, less than a year now. So.
Well, it's time for another edition of Horror Collectibles. As you can see, we got all kinds of cool things in the background. It's time we talk about some of them. This is another one brought in from Dwayne.
So one of our things we were talking about this week was the horror music and everything. So I thought it'd be good if I brought a horror collectible, which is another Tune Terrors. This one is The Fiend. If you know who The Fiend is, he's kind of like the mascot for the band The Misfits, which is one of the bands I talked about.
You got him tattooed on you.
I've got a Misfits tattoo, and I just, we've been getting the Tune Terrors and stuff for our collection here. And this week I just brought this Fiend. Like I said, he's the mascot for them and everything. He's in some of their videos. He's like on all the covers of the records and everything. And I just thought I'd bring him along this week.
That's pretty cool. Now he's kind of like that Mummy. Was it Iron Maiden or somebody?
Eddie has the Mummy. Yeah.
So was that first, and they're like, oh, let's do that too.
No, I think the Iron Maiden and Misfits all were around the same time coming out. So they just did it like Megadeth has their guy they call Big Rattlehead, which is that skull face with the visors and everything. And different bands have different mascots, I guess they call them. And this is the Misfits.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. We've been digging these Tune Terrors, so I highly doubt this will be the last time we see one of them right here on the Monster Dome. Well, buddy, old pal, what have you been watching since last time?
Not a whole lot. I recently got The Boys Season 3 on DVD.
Okay.
I've seen 1 and 2. I read all the comics. I enjoyed the comics. They were really, 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 really out there, wild. I know the TV show does not follow the comics. It has some of the same characters, but doesn't follow like the storylines too much. It's got a little bit of the same stuff. It's like the same premise, but I know the show is changed up a bunch of things.
Okay. So I haven't seen any of it. I know my dad, my best friend watch it. They seem to really enjoy it. We really haven't watched when it comes to TV. I don't think we watched a whole lot. We did watch, True Detective for this, but we have been watching the shit out of some horror films. I got a whole list of horror films I watched. All right. I'm gonna go over the ones I watched since last time. I had a vacation since last time, and we spent a whole lot of that watching scary films. I watched a movie, Megan, kind of a more recent film. It's basically someone gets a robot, and the robot goes a little out of control, starts to hurt people, to protect them, and they don't really want that. It's been done to death.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was really well done here. We saw a movie called Night Swim. It's also very new. It's okay.
I heard some people like it, and some people just hate it.
It's skippable, but I mean it's not bad either. Lisa Frankenstein, that movie was I found that one a lot of fun. I could definitely see that one being like a girls' cult favorite in the future, like Clueless or Legally Blonde. It was just a really fun movie. It's actually, fun fact, is directed by Zelda Williams, the daughter of Robin Williams.
Okay.
And I don't know if you watch Disney Channel, but it had one of the Cole twins who was in Zack and Cody, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. They're also the little kid in Big Daddy. He was in it. Anyway, we saw that. We saw the last two Tremors movies.
Okay.
Tremors, Cold Day in Hell, Tremors, Shrieker Island. If you like Tremors, you got it's definitely cheesy, and if you like Tremors, I'm sure you'll like these as well. It's kind of. We saw a movie that you've been raving about called X.
Yep.
Saw that. I think you overhyped it a little bit for me.
Sure.
Maybe in my second viewing, I might like it better. I don't know. I'd love to deep dive on that one day. One movie that I absolutely loved was a movie called Tourist Trap. This one came out in the 70s. It was made by the guy, I think, who made Goalies and fucking Puppet Master made this. That movie was a lot of fucking fun. I really enjoyed Tourist Trap. We saw X, which was okay. I'm not the biggest Saw fan, and so it's like if you like Saw, sure, this was probably pretty good for you. We saw a movie called The Jester, which was okay. It's like he's basically like Art the Clown if Art the Clown had god powers and could do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
And, basically Art's like a Looney Tune. This guy's basically like God in a way. The mean one, speaking of Art the Clown, the guy who played Art the Clown played the mean one, who's basically the fucking Grinch. They basically a fucking Grinch parody. It was god awful, horrible. I was really excited for the Grinch, and he did not speak. He just made like. Have you ever seen the show Finding Bigfoot on History Channel?
No.
Well, it's just like they have stock, basic, raw footage. That's basically what they used here. We watched Till Death Do Us Part. It had the guy, remember the movie we watched, their very first review, The Roommate,
Okay.
the boyfriend.
Sure.
He plays the best man to a wedding, and they're all like secret agents or like assassins. And at the last second, the bride decides she doesn't want to do it because she wants out of the life. And so he sends his best men, all 7 of them, after her. And she's kind of fighting them off. It was shitty. We honestly couldn't finish the movie. It was a piece of shit. We watched Abigail, which is a newer film. We saw that in theaters during our 4-year anniversary. We went out, and then it's kind of funny because I knew nothing about it, and then we went to go see it at a theater, and a lady selling us some tickets kind of spoiled a lot of it for us. I'm like, oh, thanks, bitch. We saw a movie called Bodies, 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 a newer film as well. It has what's his name? Pete Davidson.
Okay.
I did not like it. It's on Netflix. I didn't like it at all. And then we watched a movie called Your Next, which came out years ago.
I've seen Your Next, yeah.
Your Next is great.
Yeah.
I loved it. Absolutely loved that movie. So out of those, I think Your Next and Tourist Trap were my 2 favorites.
Yeah, I've seen Your Next. I liked it a lot. I want to see Abigail. I've heard the premise of it and everything. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies I've heard about, but I've not watched yet. Same thing with Megan. I've heard of that. I've just not watched it yet.
Megan, I would recommend Megan. I would recommend, what was the other one you said?
Abigail?
Yeah, okay. Abigail, okay, yeah. Would watch it. Especially you kind of like, you like supernatural stuff like that. You would like it. Bodies, 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 I did not enjoy, but, I mean, if you're just bored,
yeah,
sure. But yeah, though I think definitely my two favorites was Torch Trap and You're Next. And so have you not watched much horror recently?
No, I watch horror all the time. I rewatched like that Interview with a Vampire TV show, season 1, because season 2 started like 2 weeks ago. I rewatched that recently, and then I rewatched some of the Frankenstein classics, and I watched Renfield with Nick Cage. Yeah. I watched it once, and I rewatched it recently.
Is that good?
It's good. Yeah, I liked it. It's a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy, horror, and stuff. Slapstick, and I just wanted to rewatch it to make sure I still retain that I did like it. Same thing with Thanksgiving. I watched it once when it first come out, and I was like, okay, I like this movie a lot. I really did. And then I didn't watch it for a while. I was like, well, I'm gonna watch it again because I remember the whole premise of it, but some of the kills I may have forgot.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was not brand new to me. And once I started seeing the kills, oh yeah, this is what happens. But it's one of those movies where I can watch every 6 months, almost once a year. It's like, oh yeah, I like this movie. I still like this movie. It's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive in further to the show, and then we'll have a bunch of new cool stuff to talk about on the next episode.
Spoiler warnings.
It's now time for Horror on the Small Screen. And Dwayne, you got to pick out this week. You picked out a whole season this time. And we're doing the whole first season of True Detective.
From the dusty mesa, a looming shadow broke, hidden in the branches of poison creosote. She twines his spine up slowly towards the boiling sun. Then when I touched her skin, my fingers ran with blood. In the hushing dust under a swollen silver moon, I came walking with the wind to watch the cactus bloom. A strange hunger haunted me, the longing shadows days. I fell down June's thorny brush and felt a trembling hand.
Alright, Dwayne, what made you pick True Detective?
So, if you've not seen it, I don't give away too many spoilers.
But we will.
Yeah. It's about two cops who were talking about a murder they solved years earlier, and then come to find out later on that maybe they didn't solve it, or maybe they got the wrong people, or just some of the people.
Yeah.
Alright. The horror part of it is there's a imagery in there and talking about a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. They talk about Carcosa, which is where some of the H.P. Lovecraft older ones live. The Yellow King, which is a character that was used in a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stories. Also, Robert Chambers was the one who wrote about the Yellow King originally. So there's a lot of horror themes, horror lore, I would say, used in it. They talk more about seeing the yellow sign, which is one of the things they talk about in the Yellow King stories. Is the yellow sign is, if you see the yellow sign, you're going to start following the Yellow King. So there's just a lot of little bit of horror things thrown in there and everything. Besides that, it's just a really good detective story, and it's just like talk about character development, which we'll talk more about here in a minute. And I think it's just a really great acted and written story.
Oh yeah, this. Now I do admit this one took me. This takes me a little longer to get into. But once I got into it, man, I was like, I wanted to knock all these out in one go. I mean, we really enjoyed it. I watched this one years ago when it came out, and so it was really nice revisiting this. You know, you were saying the acting was very good. The acting was so good that even like the bit players, the people who show up just for one scene, were fucking hitting home runs on acting and performing. Every actor in this was just fucking just spot on. They were great. And yes, this show's also, it's 8 episodes, and it has lots of character development. Not only are they solving like this big murder and trying to figure out who this killer is, they're also juggling their own personal demons. You know, you got one cop played by Woody Harrelson, one cop played by Matthew McConaughey. Each one has their own demons. McConaughey, his character lost his daughter years ago, which ruined his marriage. And then Woody Harrelson is having an issue because he, I guess it's a hard time putting his family over his own needs. And, you know, both of them have a different arc, and I think both arcs ended very well. And also was very intrigued in the murder case as well. So you got a lot of things, you know, it's a lot of great things spread all over, and I think they balance it evenly with horror, drama, and, you know, their love lives and family lives. It is just such a good balance, and I don't know, it's such a great show. I absolutely love it.
Oh, okay, my turn. All right, so we talk about this. The character development is awesome. How it kind of goes is sometimes when a case happens and some more evidence comes up, they reopen the case. That's kind of how this is going.
Yeah.
Some people are going to say, hey, you know, these guys won some citations and got medals for solving this case about some guy or two guys that were kidnapping children and killing them.
Yeah, there's like new murders that are almost identical to the ones from Blaze Off years ago. There's also 3 different time periods in this show. There's 1995, I think like 2002, and then 2012 or 11. There's 3 different whole time periods that this whole show takes place. So this whole thing takes up like 2 or 3 decades for this guy, this whole story.
We talk about the character development. Like you said, the one guy, Russ, is Matthew McConaughey's character. Like you mentioned, his daughter got killed, and it kind of ruined him. His wife kind of drifted apart, so he's all dedicated to work. There's some scenes in it where you see those little things that say, oh, some guy can actually live like this, where it's just like a TV and a bed and like a lawn chair.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what his house is. He's got like a mattress on the floor, and I don't think he has any furniture. I don't even know if he had a TV or something.
No.
And then on the other hand, Marty, you know, he's married, he has 2 daughters, but his issue is, like you were saying, he puts his personal needs before his family's. You know, his wife does good things, his kids are in school, and he just is out chasing girls and getting drunk. And I understand he says that a guy's got to blow off steam somehow before he gets home to his family, because he don't want to think about being, you know, a murder case and just automatically shut it off and walk into your family still thinking about a murder case or something.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the military were like that too. They say, when I get home, give me 10 minutes to defuse and not think about Army stuff, military stuff, before I see my family and kids. I gotta change how I think and stuff, because you don't want to be thinking about, you know, all this stuff we would do in the military and then walk right home, and the first thing is you see your kids and stuff, you're thinking about, you know, other things.
Now, I kind of do that too. Now, I'm not in any dangerous job like the Army or cop, but like the first thing I like to do when I get up is like go take a 10-20 minute shit, play on my phone, and it helps me get ready for the day, stay calm. That's why it's nothing like related to what we're talking about. If I get home from work, you know, I need to have a little shot time where I'm, you know, alone in the bathroom for 20 minutes and, you know, decompress a little bit. Now that, again, that's nothing, nowhere near the level of probably stress a cop or someone from the military is under. But I just want to put a little Seanism on it.
So what else happens is, after they solve this case and, you know, they get all these awards and everything, they kind of have some differences of opinion.
Yeah.
They kind of fall out. Something happens and they end up getting in a fight, and Russ ends up quitting and leaving town for a while, and then you find out later that, like you were saying, there's still some murders happening, and these two other detectives are trying to see what's going on. They want to know what happened on their case, how if they solved it, these things are still going on, and they start questioning what happened and things like that. And ends up being that draws Russ and Marty back together to maybe realize that they did not get everyone. You know, they killed two of the killers, but maybe there's somebody else still killing. And there's cult references in the thing, and you find out later that, yeah, there's a cult of people who are out there raping and killing kids, and they're using all this H.P. Lovecraft imagery in it and everything. So.
And the scary thing is, a lot of these guys were like in power in the government, and you know, they're buddies with each other. So, you know, if one person gets in trouble, someone else in another area can like make things disappear. And I was like, boy howdy, ain't that fucking realistic? That is probably the most realistic thing ever. And probably the whole episode is probably like the most realistic thing you'll find. I was like, because I see that stuff at my work all the time. You know, this guy's friends with this person. Never happened.
Yeah, they go into that. They're like this one family that's involved in it. One's like a preacher, one's like a cop, one's like a governor or something, or some politician. And you find out later that, oh yeah, they had these other cousins that did this, and it's like the whole family's rotten. And they're all using the other ones to cover up what the other ones are doing. There's always one covering for another one, and that's what most of the season is about. Is kind of figuring out how much some family knows about what's going on and everything. And like I said, it's really in depth. There's like a lot of layers to this.
Yeah. Now, again, Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey are the stars of this. Boy, these guys really shine well together. Also, I mean, I'm going to kind of go into little spoilers. When he finally meet like the big killer, the Yellow King killer, dude was fucking huge and massive. I just love the visuals of them going after him in that, like, those fucking catacomb area. That was just fucking awesome. And you know, I kind of, you know, at the end, they both had good endings. I felt like they wrapped up their characters so nicely. You almost want more with the characters because you really get, but their story arcs ended so well. It's probably a good thing they don't continue with it. And it's just such a well balanced and great show. Kind of like tied nicely up in a pretty box. It takes me a while to get used to the jump cuts. You know, figuring out like, wait, what? You know, they keep jumping time a little bit, but really, besides that, it was great. Dwayne, your final thoughts and reviews or anything else?
Like you're talking about the jumping cuts from time, like they're telling the story this time, then they're telling this time, then you see it like it's actually like in the present, which at that time would have been like 2012.
Yeah.
I like the callbacks because in one of them they go to like a prostitute's brothel, and you find they talk about one of the girls there might be underage, and later on you find out that Marty runs into her later, like 10 years later or so, you know, down the line. And the same thing with the actual killer. You see him early on in the series, but you think he's just some guy, like, you know, that people talk to and walk away from, and you find out later that, hell, he's one of the killers, you know. And it's like all these characters you meet later on, they have more significant roles later on. The only con I have, and there's like two small ones, is the scene with the they talk about Russ going undercover for a long time in a biker gang, and there's an episode where almost the whole episode is about him trying to get back in with these bikers to figure out who was cutting meth and stuff like that, and selling the meth to that family, the King and Yellow family. And I think if anything, that could have been left out a little bit. It was very intense. There's a big shootout, a big chase scene. I read somewhere where they did that like in one take. The whole thing was like one long take, and they did it perfectly. But it's like that didn't really contribute a whole lot to the story.
I mean, they did. They were trying to figure out where they were getting the meth from, and those fucking killers. They knew that it was them. They just had to get to them, figure out who they were. But yeah, it was a little that figuring that part out did take forever.
Yeah, if anything could have been cut. That most of that story could have been cut a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they needed 8 episodes, so they drew it out a little bit. But the other 7 episodes, I think were just awesome.
Yeah, and it was intense though.
Oh, yeah.
That whole scene, because they're going up to Broad. There's a whole stupid plan the meth head biker came up with to like strong arm this like drug dealer or something, and they just pissed the whole goddamn neighborhood off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that whole little chapter there, it could have been wiped or something, or at least shortened in half.
Yeah. The other thing I had was at the last episode when you meet the killer. Some scenes he's talking like he's got like a southern accent.
Yeah.
Then some scenes he's talking like he's got a British accent.
I think he's just fooling around with. I think they were watching TV.
And he's just copying.
Yeah.
That's how I thought of it. But if you didn't know that, you didn't know that he was like trying to imitate somebody else, maybe try to change his accent so people know where he's from. That, you know.
Yeah, like he was talking with his sister, and he had the British accent, trying to act all fancy. But then when they went to start fucking, he asked his sister to tell a story of her getting molested by their grandfather, and that's what turns him on. And he dropped that fake accent real quick and got to his normal accent. Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up shit with like a lot of bad things happen to kids and young teens, and this guy was really fucked up. And the fact that he was like having an incest marriage kind of thing with a sister, I mean, just add that on top of being a pedophile. So this guy, he's a pretty fucked up killer. But yeah, Dwayne, what's your final thoughts here?
So, not counting the part that they had to have that biker scene in there, and this is a solid 9.
Ooh.
Good. I mean, it's really good. Like I said, it's just everything we've said: the plot, the characters, the acting, the story, everything is really, really, really almost perfect on there.
Yes.
I cared for the characters. I cared for their backstory. Pretty much all the characters in there have promote the storyline very well. It's well done. I mean, the fact that you're thinking that these guys did something to stop these guys, and maybe no, they didn't do it. You think, and then they kind of throw a little curveball in there. They're thinking maybe one of them is the actual killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't believe it, but they tried to make it sound like that. Like, hey, he's at all these scenes. Why is he at all these crime scenes if he's not a cop anymore, you know? But them getting back together and working it out, like you said, it comes full closure. They go from where they first are meeting to get on this case to the end of the case to, hey, we got to get on this case again because it didn't end correctly. They didn't do it right. And then they at the end when they actually get the last killer and everything, and you're like you said, it actually ends where it's supposed to end. There's no like part twos to this storyline.
Yeah.
It's just really good, and it tells a whole story.
So you're giving it a 9?
I get a 9.
All right. Is that your highest rating, or
That
one of?
Dumplings, I think I get a 9
Dumplings,
too.
okay.
Yeah, that. I mean, I love this series.
All right. It's now time for my pros and cons to True Detective Season 1. My pros, I mean, it's a home run all around in all departments. Acting, writing, directing, just storytelling, everything's just great. It's absolutely fun ride. This is my second or third time watching it, and I absolutely enjoyed it every time. My cons, it does take me a little while to really get into the story. It is, kind of just jumps around a lot at first, but once you get into it, you get into it, and it's all nice and good after that. Well, Dwayne, before I get the final score, I just want to say, next episode we're doing Season 2 of True Detective. And my final thoughts, my final score for True Detective Season 1, I want to give it 9. Alright, out of 10. It's Tasia. It's Tasia.
That's me!
The Tasia Review Show, starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of True Detective, and it took me a while to get into the show. I thought it was just okay. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either.
Well, gang, we're doing South Korea. Dwayne, you spent 2 years in Korea. Is there any kind of stories you can tell us? Get 2 or 3 stories. You spent a while there that you can tell us about your adventures in South Korea.
Kids see the show?
Or nobody really.
Okay. So one time, when I was it was called RC4. It was the Air Defense. Battery was there. It's in a little place called Sanjuri. We would go out, like normal GIs. We were going out drinking about every night. And there's a club called the Paradise Club. It had a nickname called the Parasite Club. Because when you go there, it's downstairs. So there's no way to get in through like on level with the sidewalk. You can actually go downstairs and get in. Well, as you're going down the stairs would creak. And as the stairs would creak, girls would run to the door. As soon as you open the door, there's girls grabbing your arm, pulling you to like sit down and go, oh, buy me a drink, buy me a drink, buy me a drink. And you buy a $10 drink at the time in '92, which was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then you gotta buy them so many drinks, and then they'll say, oh, you wanna go upstairs with me? And pay for whatever you're gonna do. Usually that was a prelude to just being like a whorehouse, kind of place. You can go in there and play pool, you can drink, you can do other things, but it wasn't, it was really well known just because that's all you did if you go in there. We went in there one time with a camera, and we were filming the ladies, and they were getting mad at us for filming them and everything. And there's a lot of good stuff happening I can't talk about, but it was a good night. So we've gone on something called a Thunder Run, which is where you try to hit every bar, like on the whole town.
Yeah.
Have one drink in every bar, and we didn't get too far. So.
That's a movie. At World's End.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to hit
Simon Pegg. Yeah, that's kind of what it's like. It's like you try to hit every bar in the town. And it was a small town, so there's only like 5 or 6 bars really, but that was one of the places I went to. Once or twice maybe.
Big Daddy Dwayne.
Or whatever.
Go in.
Yeah.
Big spender.
Yeah. Big money maybe. Big old private there, money making a couple $100 a week, 2 weeks. But I had a lot of good times in Korea. We make a lot of jokes about people going there and just drinking all the time. The first time I was there, I drank a lot, because I didn't want to be there. And then I got sent there a second time, which was in '98, and I wanted to do a little more. So I went a little sightseeing, went on more hikes, things like that. Actually went out and did stuff. I was doing building models and stuff for, we call it aircraft wreck, which is where you'd have to look at an aircraft on a board, and they say, hey, what is this? And sometimes it looked like a little dot, like, well, it's so far out, how would you be able to tell what that is? And you have to figure it out and stuff. So there's a lot of things to do. I liked it. When we were watching those movies, I remembered some of the words they were saying. I was like, oh, I recognize that. They said Odyssey, which is like Mister. They're like, Odyssey, and stuff like that. If you get like a cab, you go Odyssey 2025. 2025 was a building number, and they'll drive you to the building and stuff, It wasn't all bad there and everything. I went to a rappel school on Chejudo Island. It was running on sand, rappelling, rock climbing, a 300-foot rappel, and it was all Australian style, which Swiss style is you go down backwards. Australian, you do face down, and you actually just run down the side of it and stuff. And I did a school there for like 7-8 days and stuff, so I had a lot of good times in Korea and stuff. They call it go down range, is if you go out of off a base. And there's a lot of things to do, they had their own movie theaters, their own, because it's Korea, it's not all American stuff, but there's a lot of things to do there. I know that a lot of the Americans would go down range and stuff and have a good time, bars and stuff like that. There were bookstores that sold American books. There's DVD places, all kinds of stuff you could do and stuff. So, I mean, I've not been there since '98, so 26 years ago.
Would you go back?
I wouldn't voluntarily go back. I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, we're going," I would go, "Okay, sure, I guess we're going," and I'd look at it and stuff. But
so unless someone gave you like a free vacation, you don't see yourself.
Yeah, I don't see me wanting to go back there. Nothing against it. The time I had there, the 2 years was good. I had a lot of good friends in the military and stuff, but it wasn't like someplace I wanted to visit.
Okay. Now, did you get to join the army like right after or during the Gulf War?
Desert Storm.
The storm, yeah.
So I was a senior in high school when Desert Storm happened, and I signed up. As soon as I got out of high school, I was going to go in the military. And the actual ground war was like February to like April, so it was already done because I graduated like in May or June, and I went in July because what they would do is they'd say, hey, these are the things that you took your test on, and this is what you think you would do good at. And said these are when the school starts. And of course, my number one thing was languages, to be a linguist, but the school was starting for linguists. For Russian linguists was starting before I got out of high school, so I couldn't go.
Is that what you wanted to do?
That's what I wanted to do, was be a Russian linguist, but it wasn't open when they had started school before I got out of high school, so I wouldn't be able to go to it. So the next thing they were like, oh, look at this, and then I looked at something and said, what the hell is a Vulcan? Like, oh, dude, that's an electric Gatling gun. It's on tanks, and you see them on anti-aircraft things. Like, okay, that's cool. So that's what I did originally, was air defense, anti-air defense, Vulcan 16 Romeo. Then I went to be a Stinger, and I went to 11 Mike, which was Bradley, mechanized infantry. And then they changed it to 14 Romeo, which was air defense, Bradley. So.
Well, look at you now, you're a groundskeeper.
I'm a groundskeeper for this guy. Good God. Please take me back.
South Korea ain't sounding too bad right now. Alright guys, let's continue on with the show. Alright, it's time for another edition of Trick or Treat, where we try out different candies and foods, and we give it a trick or a treat. Dwayne, I know you're a veteran, and we got all these veteran holidays coming up, 4th of July, Veterans Day, and all that. So I got us some patriotic food.
Okay.
First up, I got us Little Debbie red, white, and blue cakes.
Oh, cool.
And that's not all.
It's not.
I got this little Debbie red, white, and blue Nutty Buddy bars.
Awesome.
Yes, we're getting a little patriotic this week. And we're going to try these out. Alright, Dwayne. We're going to try the red, white, and blue cakes first.
Okay.
These kind of, just like different colors. They don't, like that one spring donuts where they didn't really have a whole lot of different uniqueness to it, just color-wise. So I'm guessing this one might be in the same boat here. Alright. Alright, let's try these bad boys out. Should we do the Pledge of Allegiance before we eat these or no?
No.
Okay. Oh shit, this thing's about melted.
Yeah.
Tastes about the same as a, what are those things called? Like a zebra cake, maybe? Nothing special, I don't think.
Nah, I don't know what the flavor of red, white, and blue is, but it's not.
It has maybe a birthday cake flavor to it.
There's just a regular snack cake, I guess.
Nothing above normal, just same as a regular zebra cake. I'm giving it a treat. It's just another cash grab. I mean, I suckered in and got it for the show. Alright. Now, this one I think is definitely going to taste a lot different. This is a Nutty Buddy bar with red, white, and blue. I'm wondering if this one's going to taste a little different. It looks like it's... Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh man, these are... Normally these come in twos, but these are a one pack. Kind of
marketing. Alright, let's try this out.
Alright. Don't it taste different, does it?
No.
Nothing special here. I would skip these. I mean, they're gonna get treats because they are basically, just different themed. It's like buying a different skin for a character in a video game. It's the same guy, just different little wardrobe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you like them, if you like Nutty Buddies and regular snack cakes, then yeah, you'll like them. There's nothing different about them.
No, I might as well get the OGs. Unless you just want to be that extra patriotic. But I don't think anything goes back to the army or the military, so I don't see how you're being very patriotic by eating it. But anyway, check us out on the next episode. We'll have more snacks, treats, and delights for you right here on the Monster Dome.
It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings.
It's now time for our next review, where we're going to review the 2016 film Train to Busan.
부산으로 가는 KTX 406 열차가 곧 출발합니다.
저기요, 이상한 사람이 하나 타고 있는 것 같은데.
팀장님, 여기 11호차 응급 환자 발생했습니다.
있다니까. 우리가 이것들 달고 부산으로 갑시다 바로. 지금 몇 호칸?
오늘 끝나면 들어가자. 당신들 봐봐. 지금 무슨 일이 벌어지고 있는지 몰라? 우리 열차는 더 이상 부산으로 운행할 수가 없게 됐습니다.
Alright, Dwayne, this movie was really good.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I've heard great things about it, so I was expecting a very great movie, and it did live up to the hype, which was great.
I agree. I heard about it. I heard a lot of good things about it. I just never sat down to watch it.
Yeah.
And kind of like when we talked about the Australian one, the Babadook, I heard about it. I just never sat down to watch it. When I watched it, I liked it. Train to Busan, I loved it.
I did too. Fucking start to finish. Boy, I couldn't take my eyes off this thing. It is just, I don't know what about this movie. It was almost 2 hours.
Sure.
Right at it, and then like just the whole time, it had my attention every second of the way. I never lost interest once. Oh man, it's just such a heartwarming zombie film, and it's about a guy who's like a workaholic. He's like this big exec or some kind of like guy, powerful business guy, and he works all the time. He doesn't have time for his daughter, and his daughter's kind of getting sick of the bullshit, and she wants to go see her mom in Busan. And then so he's like, I don't know, maybe we'll go next week. But then she hits him with the 1-2 punch that he forgot to go to her recital. And I was like, oh dog, no. And so then she hits him with that you don't care stuff. So he's like, I guess I gotta take her to Busan. So he takes her to the train. They get on this big train, and just so happens right when they're getting on is the beginning of a zombie apocalypse. And the whole thing takes place on a train, and fucking shenanigans pursue. Dwayne, what did you think of all that?
Yeah, so like you said, the guy's a workaholic. Not only did not go to recital, it wasn't her birthday too. That was the thing, like, he didn't go to recital, and it's my birthday. Then he got her a gift. It was the same gift because he doesn't think about these things. It's the same gift he already got her like a couple months earlier.
Yeah.
So she got the same exact thing. She's like, well, you don't love me because you don't know, you don't remember. You just bought me the same. It's like a Nintendo Wii or something, right?
Yeah,
he said, you just bought me a Nintendo Wii a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like you said, as they're driving in, they hear some stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's a zombie outbreak is kicking in right as they're getting on the train to go see the little girl's mom, his wife or ex-wife or whatever. Yeah.
And oh my god, and unfortunately for them, as they're getting on, at the last second, someone infected gets on the train with them, and this shit spreads quick. Like, once bitten, they have, I don't know, a minute before they turn, and they like fucking, they look like they had to hire nothing but, was it contortionists?
Yeah.
Because they're fucking like bending their arm all the way back, and fuck, I mean, it looked brutal, but there wasn't a whole lot of gore. It's just, like you could see a bite and stuff, but like in some stuff, zombie movies, you see intestines rip out. There's none of that, but there is blood. And I mean, shit happens quick. And the other thing that got on my nerves was when they were running from like train to train cart, they never shut the fucking door. They leave the door wide open. I was like, this is why y'all getting killed right here. They're very stupid.
So to go on what you said, it's not like a traditional zombie where like they're looking for brains or just eating body parts.
Yeah.
It's more like a 28 days later one where they're just trying to infect you. And they're beating the hell out of people, like you said. It's like violent. The person gets bit or whatever happens, they die, whatever, and their body starts to contort, like you said. It's violent. I mean, you see people, they're sitting there and they're moving a little bit, and all of a sudden they like swing their whole body around, and then they've got the eyes and the veins and everything. It's like all of a sudden it's a snap, and the whole body just like awakes that, hey, I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
It's like maybe, boom, and they just go crazy and start trying to beat people to death and everything. It's really vicious. And some of the visuals where like the horde starts running, it's like they're showing like the horde is like staying still almost, and like just the trains moving. It's like the way they photographed it. It's really good.
God, there's some parts where you see them running, and then like fucking more zombies start running on top of them. I was like, holy shit! It would talk about like suspense. Out of all the movies, I think this one did suspense the best. I mean, like every scene that they're dealing with the infected, I'm like, what are they gonna do? You know. And one thing I loved about is the zombies can't see in the dark. I do like that aspect. I thought that was kind of cool. It's like that's a nice twist, and they had really good like ways to get around it. I love when they're doing zombies. I love it when they're trying to be smart and outsmart the zombies. I love that.
Yeah, and just run all the time.
Yeah, and just like have the creative ways, and they did that. Especially there's a scene where they're on one end of the cart, and then they're trying to get to the people on the other end of the cart, and in the middle is just mini carts of zombies, and each different cart, they're almost doing something completely different each time to get through it. It's almost like a video game where like, okay, on this part you gotta be stealthy, this part you gotta fight, this part you gotta find an alternative route. I just love that they're finding different ways to get around each different cart, and I was really, that's probably my favorite thing in the whole movie. Is like, oh man, how they gonna, oh my gosh, Dwayne, this movie was just so much fun. I could see me watching this one time and time again in the future. It was just so much fun. Great film. That's why I'm happy we're doing this horror around the world. There's a lot of movies I probably would have never checked out.
Yeah.
And then like, hey, let's go over our way to look at foreign films. And boy, I'm glad I found this one. Oh my gosh, it's just such a great film, and then very sad too. I mean, like every time someone dies or gets killed, I'm like, no, I like that person. No, I like that person. It's just such like a fucking like tearjerker almost at points, and tug on the heartstrings for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely, even though it's a zombie action flick, there's a lot of character development, and you meet characters, and you like the characters.
Yeah, except there's this one asshole you don't like.
One guy you don't like.
And then like they push his death to the fucking end of the movie.
Yeah. But you meet like a ball team and like a high school ball team.
Like a baseball team.
Yeah, some of them get turned quick, some of them don't. Something happens to some of them. Yeah. Some of them make it almost to the end, the last 20 minutes or so. You meet all these characters. One guy, he's got his pregnant wife with him, and at first he's like an asshole to people, but then he's like one of the ones that actually starts thinking about how to do things. Yeah. And you start to like his character, plus he likes to make fun of the main character.
And he's like a total like, badass too.
Yeah, you find out he's like one of the badasses on the train, and there's just like you said, there's a lot of people. You got different like character types on there. You got the little teenagers in love, you got the badass, you got the main character's daughter, you got the pregnant woman, you got these two older ladies or sisters, right? And you start to care for them, and then you got all the jerks who don't want to be infected. Hey, we're important people, we're up here in the cars up towards the front of the train, and we're not letting anybody in because we think they're infected, even though you can see they're not because they had to turn. So there's a lot of good character development, twists, ways they're thinking about getting around them. Like you said, they're kind of like night blind, so they don't see things. If they don't see you, they don't go after you. So one of the things I would never have thought of is they throw water on like one of the windows and put like newspaper, stick it to it, so the zombies can't see them. So the zombies stop attacking them because they don't see somebody to kill. They just see like a looks like maybe like a side of a house or something where they wouldn't see anything. So like hell, I never thought of that. Yeah. I've seen a bunch of zombie movies. I never thought about doing something like that where they wouldn't see you. I know people try to hide, but they're just blocking windows, and they're using fire extinguishers to spray the windows so the zombies wouldn't see them and stuff. It's really good.
And then there's another really good scene where they're trying to get past the zombies. They wait till they go under a tunnel and they try to get through them that way. That was really clever too. I was like, damn, there's so much they can do with it, and it was just a lot of fun, man. Like every scene was just great with this thing, and it did kind of a little bit of a sad ending. You finally get to the end, and then the one jerk you want to see fucking die the most, he finally gets killed at the end after getting like what, 3-4 people killed.
Oh yeah, he's a jerk. He's pushing characters in front of the zombies so he can run away. Oh yeah, he's an all around ass.
And so at the end, they're finally getting on this new train, and then it's like the main character fights him, and it's kind of stupid. He's trying to push him off this train, and he put his fucking hand over his mouth. It's like, why would you put your hand right in the no-no square? Like, do not put your hand here. I was watching this video yesterday. These guys were trying to fish, and they caught a shark. The dude put his hand right next to the shark's mouth, and guess what? Shark ate his fucking pinky for being a dumbass. And of course, you know, sad. Main character gets bit, and they finally throw that fucker, that asshole off the zombie off, and you know, the main character has to kind of jump off for him because he knows he's going to turn, and it's sad. And the little girl, the pregnant woman, are the only two who get away into Busan. But even though this one, like I was complaining, the Wailing didn't have a great happy ending. This one was fine. I don't know. It's just like it's still. It didn't affect the movie for me that much. You know, it's like he sacrificed himself for his daughter. You know, at least she and the pregnant woman got to live, and hopefully got to live somewhere safe. And that was like. There's another scene I want to talk about real quick. At the very end, when they fought their way to the end and got to the last cart where everybody else was, the asshole guy wouldn't let them in, and him prolonging them getting in got 2 characters killed. The badass and then the one of the sisters. And I feel like the one sister could have made it. It looked like she just sat there and let herself get ate. I don't know what that was about.
I think she was. Remember they were talking about like she couldn't walk that fast. Her legs were bad. She needed help moving, so she thought, well, instead of endangering anybody else, I'll just stay here and get attacked and stuff to draw attention away from the other people as they were running.
Oh,
she kind of like sacrificed herself.
And then her sister was just watching her other sister on the other side as a zombie, and it's like, you know what? Fuck everybody else. And she did say they're all assholes anyway. Yeah. So she lets the zombies in to get 8, and she gets 8, and kills almost everybody else that's left on the train. Well, there's nobody watching her. Like she let all the zombies in. Have you ever played the game Dead Rising?
No.
So the game is one of my favorite games ever, and a bunch of survivors of a zombie apocalypse. I just happened to be at this mall, and the very first it's like the very beginning of the game, and everybody's trying to board up the mall. There's one old lady. It's always goddamn old ladies. Her poodle is on the outside with the zombies, and she says, "You know what? I'm gonna let my poodle in." And she opens the thing, gets 8, and gets a shit ton of people ate in the process. And yeah, it's like, what the hell's with old ladies and fucking it up for everybody else? I don't know.
What are you thinking? Get off!
Wait, baby! I'm saving you, baby! Wait for me, sweetie! Madonna!
So, Dwayne, if we're ever in an apocalypse, no old ladies on the crew.
Okay.
Good with that?
I'm good with that.
I don't fuck it up for everybody. What are your final thoughts and score of this?
Okay, so final thoughts is, this was a very good, well thought out, well shot, well acted movie.
Yeah. Especially like at the end where like the little girl's bawling and the main character's bawling because they know they're not going to see each other again. Like, damn, this is intense. And they got the little girl that act that good. Damn, that's good.
Okay. So, well acted and everything. A lot of character, like I said, even though it's a zombie apocalypse movie, a lot of character development.
Yeah.
You like these characters, and then, like Sean was saying, pretty much almost all of them die. And as you're liking them, and you're seeing how they're trying to think about ways that they're missing their families or whatever, and then they end up getting killed, you're like, damn, you know, this is kind of sad too. And I know a lot of people have talked about at the end when the dad gets bit, he knows he's got to get off that train so he doesn't infect his wife or the pregnant lady. He tells his daughter to protect the pregnant lady.
Yeah.
You know, and it's rough because he said the dad, he knows. He said, I've been a bad dad my whole life. I'm finally doing something good for my daughter, and then this shit happens. And then he's like, well, my last good thing I'm gonna do is sacrifice myself so they live. And he's having, even as a zombie, as he's turning into a zombie, he's thinking about his daughter.
Yeah.
He's thinking about all the good times and his daughter had, holding the daughter and everything. And then he sacrifices himself. He jumps off the train so that he doesn't affect him. And I know a lot of people said they were crying at the end of the movie and everything. I was really sad. I was upset. I was like, damn, you know, he was a bad dad his whole life. He finally does a good thing, and this shit happens. And then he's like, I'm going to go out on a good note, even though I know I'm dying. I'm going to not infect anybody else and everything. And I was really sad at the end. I was like, damn, this is heartbreaking. Because he loved his family so much, even though he wasn't able to show it because of his work. His work was always keeping him all day long and everything. Even as the zombie apocalypse is going on, his work is calling him.
Yeah, calling him.
Yeah, say, hey, what's going on? Did we do this? Da, 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 da. They're calling him while the zombie apocalypse is going on to ask him about work-related questions. So that makes you feel like, hey, this guy, all he does is work. But great movie. And I'm gonna go with a 9 with this one too. This one was just compared to a bunch of other movies we've watched. This just hurt when I watched the end of it. I was like, damn, you know. I said Dumplings was just such a good movie that at the end with everything going on, and this one's the same. I enjoyed every minute of this movie.
All right. Here are my pros and cons to Train to Busan. Pros. Great acting, directing, writing, character development, everything in this film was great. Super intense film, edge of your seat the whole way through. Never once got bored. My cons. Questionable survival tactics, like not closing doors or putting your hand near the face of a zombie. I'm giving Train to Busan 9. I'm not crying. You are. Out of 10. It's Tasia. It's Tasia.
That's me.
The Tasia Review Show, starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of Train to Busan, and I liked it. 10 out of 10.
Hey!
Hello.
It's me, stand-up comedian Sean Dills with
Wayne caretaker.
him. And we're visiting my old friend Bonnie again. And what's your show? One Drink,
Three Bars. So it started out as a channel where we go to 3 different bars and order the same thing and compare them. And then I just started doing more at home. Well, we still do the long episodes, but it's mostly here in the One Drink, 3 Bars basement.
Awesome. Well, you know, we've been on the show before, and you showed us some really cool things. This time, I want to start challenging you, Bonnie, to make drinks. I'm going to give you something and see what you can do with it.
Alright, well, I like a good challenge.
Alright, you You ready for your first challenge?
Yes.
All right, I got for you Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Top 5 cereal. Can you make it to a top 5 drink?
I think I can. I think I kind of know what you like. I know you like vodka. I know you like citrus. Like every time I make you something with like lemon or lime juice and vodka, you're like, oh, that's really good. And I think adding Fruity Pebbles to that will be the perfect drink for you.
All right, let's see what we got.
Okay, so I think that a perfect drink for Sean and his Fruity Pebbles is this Junction 35 Bam Bam vodka and a breakfast martini. So a breakfast martini is like a kind of well-known drink that's made with orange marmalade instead of simple syrup as the sweetener. And I think there's nothing better for a breakfast martini than a Fruity Pebbles infused vodka. And I'm going to make 2 of them.
You get one too, buddy.
Yes.
Oh, awesome, thank you.
So the recipe for this, it includes like 2 ounces of vodka, but I'm going to be putting 4 to make 2 drinks. And I have a video with tons of recipes with this vodka. You can get it in Pigeon Forge at the Junction 35 distillery. And then it takes half an ounce of orange liqueur, so I'm putting in 1 ounce for 2 drinks.
You use that thing I bought.
Oh, Cointreau. Yeah, this is my favorite orange liqueur. It's in like a lot of drinks.
Every time I see you make a video, you have that somewhere.
Yeah, it's and it's 40% alcohol, so most liqueurs are more like 20 or 30%, but this one, like, it tastes better. It kind of like bumps up the alcohol content of the drink if you want that. And then it takes 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, so I'll be putting in a total of 1.5 ounces. And I've already decorated these glasses with Fruity Pebbles. And if you want to know how I got these to stick, I have a video where I use an edible glue to glue these Fruity Pebbles to the rim. And normally in a drink like this I would put just simple syrup, but I'm going to use orange marmalade as the sweetener, and I'm just going to put in a couple bar spoons of it. Then when we shake the drink, it's going to kind of break that up and we'll like strain out the chunky parts, but we'll still get the orange flavor from it.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
What's a marmalade?
I actually have no idea. Why isn't it just orange jam or jelly?
So that's just a fancy word for like jam.
Yeah, you know, I never actually thought about like why they would call it that. Marmalade. Yeah, it's just sugar, orange peel, orange juice concentrate.
Okay. Shit's moving out. That scared me a little bit.
Oh, it does that.
Come on, scoot it back. Just a little bit.
So I'm going to give this a nice shake to chill it and to kind of incorporate the orange marmalade. This one, I will double strain it since it's got like the jelly in it. So I've got a strainer on here and this one. Shit, I'm just gonna do that. So that one's like a little low, but it's enough for you to taste, and I can always make more. So there's our Fruity Pebbles breakfast martini. Do you guys want to try that?
Alright, Bonnie, I'm excited. Love me some Fruity Pebbles. So, I'm really excited to try this. Ready? Ready. Alright. Oh, I'm making a mess. Oh my god, that's actually really good.
Oh, and you should also taste the vodka by itself because it really tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
I'm gonna pull the
Work out again.
Fruity Pebbles in now. Bonnie, this is delicious.
The vodka itself has like a good flavor. If you just like smell and taste that by itself, I mean it's really like a bowl of cereal.
You want to try that?
Oh, and I'll put this here too in case.
Alright, Bonnie, this thing is delicious. Can I make one suggestion?
Yes.
This looks cool with the Fruity Pebbles around the glass, but I just wanted like a bowl of cereal. Or that butter in here in the middle. But this is absolutely delicious. You guys gotta make this at home. It's great. What do you think, Dwayne?
Oh, I really liked it. Yeah, real citrusy. Like you said, like almost having an orange juice in the morning, a little lemonade in there and stuff, and then the infused vodka was really good.
Well, don't worry, we'll come back. See Bonnie on another episode. Don't forget to check out her channel, One Drink 3 Bars, and we'll be back on the next episode of The Monster Dome. Alright, it's time for Horror Talk. And that's horror with the H.
Horror talk.
No W-H.
Oh, horror talk.
H-O-R-R-O-R. Horror Talk. Alright, this week we're doing cool horror bands. Yeah. Dwayne, what's the band that you think of that, like, you know, kind of has like a good horror element to it?
Well, I don't know if I'm wearing a shirt today, but Wednesday 13. Wednesday 13 is the lead singer of a band called Wednesday 13.
Now, he changed his name because of the Addams Family, didn't he?
I don't know if he did or not yet from it, but I know he's also the lead singer in another band called Murder Dolls, which I'll talk about in a second too. But Wednesday 13 and the Murder Dolls, they have like a lot of horror themes.
Yeah.
Some of their songs is like songs called American Werewolves in London. London After Midnight. They have a song called Haddonfield, which goes back to that. His earlier bands, there's a song called Creature from the Black Lagoon, Till Death Do His Party. There's all kinds of good stuff. They take a lot of the horror vibe and put it in songs and sing about it.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy Wednesday 13 and the Murder Dolls.
Okay. One for me is a band. It's kind of obvious for me is Ghost. Absolutely fucking love Ghost. I know you like Ghost.
I like Ghost.
Ghost is just fucking awesome. I remember I have an ex that was super Christian, and I played her a song called Satan Prayer, and I didn't tell her what it was about or what the song was called. I was like, hey, just give this a listen. She listened to this. It's pretty good. What's it? What? Who does this? Like, it's Ghost. Oh, cool. What's the song called? I was like, don't worry about it. You know, it's just a good song. I remember the same ex. We drove up from Tennessee to Duluth, Minnesota, and that last 2-3 hours, I went crazy. And I went in the back seat, balled up in a little fetal position, and I put in Ghost, Satan Prayer on repeat, and I just sit there until we got there. And oh my God, that was a long car ride. And I just love Ghost. Like, they have like 20 songs. Like, I just absolutely love.
Believe in one God, do we? Satan Almighty, the uncreator of heaven and soil, and the invisible and the visible. Son begotten of Father, by whom all things will be unmade. Who for man and his damnation incarnated, rise up from hell, from sitteth on the left hand of his Father, from thence he shall come to judge. Out of one substance with Satan, whose kingdom shall have no end. Hear us, Satan, prayer, our anti-Nicene creed. Hear us, Satan, prayer, for the coming of seed. Hear us, Satan, prayer, our anti-Nicene creed. Hear us, Satan, prayer, for the coming of seed.
Alright, next one for you.
Alright, so we're gonna go way back, like car seats, way back. Before you were born, probably. Alice Cooper.
Oh shit, I've met him.
Alice Cooper is such a cool guy.
Yes.
You know, in the 70s, everybody was on that Satanic Panic thing, that in the 80s, and he wasn't towards that. He was more towards horror theatrics in his concerts and stuff. You know, songs like Black Widow, Killers, all kinds of good stuff. He did the Jason song, Man Behind the Mask.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Vincent Price help him with songs like Welcome to My Nightmare and stuff. He's just a huge horror fan. He's been in horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in mainstream movies.
He's in Nightmare on Elm Street. What was it, 5 or 6?
I think, yeah, was it Frey's dad or something like that?
Yeah, or stepdad.
Stepdad?
His real dad was like 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 Maniacs, yeah. But, yeah, just him, he just loves the genre, and his music is really good, and he loves horror, and he's always been pushing that forward for years.
When I met him, we talked about our favorite horror films. And he's like, what's your favorite horror film? I was like, well, if I'm just going by like a perfection level, I'd probably go with The Exorcist. I was like, that. There's just no flaws with that movie. He goes, that's a great film, and he told me that another good one of his favorites was Silver Bullet.
Yep.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I still haven't seen it. I was like, I really need to watch it because Alice Cooper fucking recommended it to me. So we'll have to do that one on here one day. So I mean, he was like super nice when I met him.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, and I'll just go back a little bit with Wednesday 13. I told you I met Wednesday 13.
Yeah.
And that's all we did. We talked about G.I. Joe stuff and horror movies, and he's a huge horror fan too. So it's just really cool.
Yeah.
Your hands in the air, stick 'em up like you don't care. Face the wall, count to 10. We mow you down, reload again. Oh no, here we go. Disco who? Disco what? Get down on your knees and keep your trap shut. Disco this, disco that. When this goes to hell, that's where we're at, where we're at. Disco bloodbath, boogie fever. Disco bloodbath, boogie fever. Bodies here, bodies there, miles of bodies everywhere. On the chairs, on the door, disco bloodbath on the floor. Hear 'em yell, hear 'em scream, just like someone's scary dream. Dig a hole, push 'em in, tomorrow they'll be back again. Oh no, here we go. Disco who? Disco what? Get down on your knees and keep your trap shut. Disco this, disco that. When this goes to hell, that's where we're at, where we're at. Disco bloodbath, boogie fever. Disco bloodbath, boogie fever.
My next pick is another band that absolutely loves horror films. Ice Nine Kills. They're kind of like that one band. They do songs about Halloween, Michael Myers. They do one about everybody, really chuggy. But my all-time favorite is the Friday the 13th song they do called "Thank God It's Friday."
Okay.
That song is really fucking good. Like, oh my gosh. They even have like I think they even have clips of Pamela Voorhees talking.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's cool. I've heard of them. I've actually seen a couple of their videos, but not dived too deep into it. I probably saw 3 or 4. I think one's called like Batteries Not Included or something's about Chucky or something like that.
Okay.
I've seen a couple of them, but I need to get more into that. I know that. I got friends at work who talk about Ice Nine Kills.
You drown in all our sins, you drown in our mistakes. Fueled by the flood we pay in blood, the curse of Crystal Lake. Erase him right and
So here's a simple, easy one for me. The Misfits.
Oh, there you
Misfits are a 70s punk band. They were into the horror genre also, and they just love stuff. They have songs called Halloween, Halloween Part 2, Hybrid Moments, which is about turning into a werewolf, which they put in all kinds of TV shows and everything. They just have a lot of songs about horror and stuff, and Vampira is one of their songs. And I've seen the Misfits play in concert, and it's a great time. A lot of good theatrics. They'll have one of their stands is shaped like a skeleton and everything.
Yeah.
And I've loved the Misfits for a long time, and they're horror punk legends.
So I like them okay. There's one song by the Misfits I really like. It's called "Dig Up Her Bones."
Yep.
It was like I really fucking dig that song. I need to same with you. I need to dive into them more.
Centuries hidden in space, sincere hope and wise belief they can teach our race. And yet on Mars, the darker side, like all things that God made, they try to war with people not, and they must defend. See the fire in the skies, see them devastate the land. Mars attacks, the war chief commands. See human bodies die. See our planet laid to waste. Mars attacks. Monsters invade the Earth through space. Expand in our darkest hour when everything seemed lost. Their hearts burn, the night can see, no matter what the cost.
Alright, my next song. Alright, so I think I'm going to go with a band I think you showed me. It's called Type O Negative, which is they're really cool. I don't know if they're horror related, but it's very dark and like gloomy. Like, there's a song called I Don't Want to Be Me.
Yeah.
And it actually has this guy from Balls of Fury.
Dan Folger? Something like that?
Yeah. He's in the music video.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is he doing here? I don't know, but it's a pretty good band. I mean, it's very like... I think one of their songs is the opening to I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, it's Summer Breeze. It's a cover of Summer Breeze.
And I mean, I think you showed me them, and I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. So I'll still go with Type O Negative also.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Type O Negative. I've seen them twice. I saw them with Motley Crue of all bands, and then I saw them with Pantera.
Now he's dead now, right?
Yeah, Peter Steele, their lead singer, passed away.
Yeah.
But I still love them. I actually have a green bass because he has his favorite color is green, and he played bass. I have a green bass. I have a green.
Do you play?
I play. I got green strings and everything. But Black Number One. You know, Christian Woman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, like I said, the Summer Breeze, their cover of it is so slow and heavy. It's like a dirge. It was originally like a 60s song by Seals and Croft, I think it was. And then their version of it is just so more, not doom, but like heavier and everything. And I've been a Type O Negative fan since like the early 90s.
Okay.
Forgive her, for she knows not what she does. Across upon her bedroom wall, from grace she will fall. An image burning in her mind, and between her thighs.
next band I'm picking is a guy I saw in concert. His name's Aurelio Voltaire. This guy is more like I guess more of a gothic kind of style. He sings a song about because of evil. I think it's like him being, I guess, the embodiment of evil. He has a song called Death, Death, Murder, 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 Kill. And it's about like his grandma giving him shit for singing songs about death. And then he sings a song about death at her funeral. And then, it's really fun. I've seen this guy in concert. I actually knew of him because he did a song for a little cartoon back in the day called Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And he did a song for that show. And then I kind of discovered him that way. And then I saw him in concert years back, probably 6-7 years ago. And it was a real fun time. He put on a pretty good concert. And yeah, he's pretty cool.
Okay.
I was alone and I needed a date. I was taking a walk past the cemetery gate when I saw a sign. It said for a good time, take a left down at Tombstone number 8. Went through the gateway and I'm pretty sure I saw some eyes peeking out of a sepulture. I took a step into the tomb of ill repute. That's where I met her, the zombie prostitute. And I'm pretty sure I tore it. I sicked her down, but she didn't have the stomach for it. A teeth fell out and her tongue fell out to boot. But all in all, she was a rotten kind of cute. Well, I was tense, it was plain to see. A sort of rigor mortis was coming over me. I didn't want to see it, but I just had to believe it. I had a stiffy for the stiff in front of me.
So I'm going my next one, and this is the last one we're going to talk about on my side. Is I originally thought Kiss because of the kabuki makeup. Thought Ozzy Osbourne.
I'd rather go with Ozzy than
stuff
Kiss.
like that. Yeah. I thought about Marilyn Manson because he talks about a lot of satanic type stuff. It could have gone Merciful Fate. It's the same thing. There's a lot of bands that wear masks, horror masks, like Slipknot and stuff. I even thought about a couple other bands, but I'm going to go with a Australian folk singer called Nick Cave. And the reason why I'm picking Nick Cave is, yes, you know him because he does a song Red Right Hand, which is
All Over Scream,
which is a Scream song. But a lot of his other songs, a lot of them are about murder or killings.
He does Little Red Riding Hood, don't he?
I don't know if he does that or not, but the Curse of Millhaven is a song sung by the perspective of a little 11 or 12-year-old girl who's a murderer.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's got a CD called Murder Ballads. It's all about people killing people.
All right.
There's one called The Kindness of Strangers, which is about a girl who is traveling cross country and she meets a guy and he ends up killing her. So, yeah, this Nick Cave is I think he just talks a lot of dark subjects and everything, and it may not be horror movie related, but it's a lot of dark subjects, and he's well known for writing stories, writing books, movies. He's in movies. I think he actually wrote the screenplay for the movie Lawless, which was Tom Hardy and then
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, he's in that movie, but I think he's actually one of the head writers of that.
Oh,
so I'm just gonna go with Nick Cave.
They call me the wild rose, but my name was Eliza Day. Why they call me it, I do not know, for my name was Eliza Day.
From the first day I saw her, I knew she was the one. She stared in my eyes and smiled. Her lips were the color of the roses that grew down the river, all bloody and wild.
When he knocked on my door and entered the room, my trembling subsided in his sure embrace. He would be my first man, and with a careful hand he wiped out the tears that ran down my face. They call me the wild rose, but my name was Eliza Day. Why they call me that I do not know, for my name was Eliza Day.
On the second day I brought her a flower. She was more beautiful than any woman I've seen. I said, do you know where the wild roses grow, so sweet and scarlet and free?
On the second day he came with a single red rose. He said, give me your loss and your sorrow. I nodded my head as I lay on the bed. If I show you the roses, will you follow? They call me the wild rose, but my name was Eliza Day. Why they call me that I do not know, for my name was Eliza Day.
Alright, my final one. That one was a little dark, so mine is not dark at all. It does have a horror theme to it. It's a band called Here Come the Mummies. And fun fact, I'm going to go see them in concert the day after Halloween. And another fun fact, it's Tazia's very first concert. I love these guys. I found them out. I found them last year. I think last year around October I discovered them. They're called Here Come the Mummies. They dress as mummies. However, they don't talk really about being mummies. They usually just talk about getting their dick wet, which is fun. And I love the fact that it's just mummies talking about fucking. And it is awesome. They're actually from Nashville, which is kind of cool because, you know, I'm from Knoxville. So I was like, oh, cool, they're just like my neighbors. So I'm really excited to go. We're going to go see them November 1st, and I'm very pumped for this concert.
It's that time of day for sniffing like a dog. Would you like to play some sneaky peeky? What I'm trying to say is that I'm feeling like a snob. So what you say? Gonna come to play. So what you say? Come on, let's get busy. Can I get some booty? Can I have some sweetness? Can I see your beauty? Can we get down on the floor? Can I get some booty? Can I have some sweetness? Can I see your beauty? Can I have some more? Booty, booty, booty. It's time for grooving, baby. It's time for moving slow. It's time for dancing, baby, and being in the show. So what you say? Gonna come to play. So what you say? Come on, let's get busy. Can I get some booty? Can I have some sweetness? Can I see your beauty? Can we get down on the floor? Can I get some booty? Can I have some sweetness? Can I see your beauty? Can I have some more?
And that will do it for horror bands this week on Horror Talk. And next week we'll have another cool horror subject we'll talk about on the next edition of The Monster Dome.
now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings.
It's time for our final film review of the night. This is the sequel to Train to Busan, Peninsula.
미쳤어? 거길 또 들어간다고?
You get the truck, come back with the money. That's $2.5 million per head. If you come back alive.
진짜네.
살고 싶으면 타요. 아저씨는 들기생활 처음인가 보네.
시기자! 시기하다! 중박복제 무장! 야, 61번 빨리 안 나가! 야, 61번!
해가 지면 움직이자. 내가 또 나서야 되나?
죽여 그냥! 죽여!
잡아!
Alright, Dwayne, what do you think of the sequel to Train to Busan?
So I'm not gonna say Train to Busan I was really hyped about.
Yeah.
I heard they made a sequel to it called Peninsula. I was like, oh well, this is gonna be good. And, you know, sometimes sequels are better,
Yeah.
not often. I mean, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 is better than the first one.
No. We could go maybe Wolf Creek 2. Something, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, I was looking forward to this movie. We had seen The Wailing, which was a really good movie. Train to Busan, which was great. And then we got Peninsula, which I think was not as good.
I liked it, but compared to the, you know, it's hard to follow Train to Busan, and it didn't really follow it that well. It wasn't a bad movie either. Train to Busan was a emotional, well written, well directed, you know, everything else film. This one was fun. You know, this was more of a fun film. And yeah, it did have emotional moments. But like, you can't really compare the moments to this one to the ones from the first one, because there's lots of moments at the end where it gets very emotional. And I wasn't nearly as attached.
No, I agree with you there. It's a fun movie. It takes place like 4 years after Train to Busan. They talk about like 4 years ago, South Korea got cut off because of infections and then getting loose. And how it starts off is how some people are trying to get onto a boat to leave, and an infected person is on the boat and infects the boat. And
Wait, I have a quick question.
Sure.
In the first movie, Train to Busan, didn't they say it was worldwide?
I don't remember them saying worldwide. I remember them saying it had gotten out and stuff. But I think in this one they said it was just relegated to South Korea.
Okay.
But then as other countries were taking in refugees, it started to spread a bit. Like it went to Hong Kong and some of the other areas. They talked about going to North Korea and stuff like that,
Yeah.
taking refugees. And if you know anything about history, North Korea and South Korea don't like each other.
Nope.
So for them to take refugees, it was kind of like
Last resort.
last resort, taking in some people and stuff. But to go with what you're saying, it's a fun movie. I wasn't invested in all the characters as much as I was in Train to Busan. I'm not saying I didn't like any of them. There's some good characters in there.
Yeah.
I like some of the characters. But it was not as good as Train to Busan. It couldn't live up to the hype, and it actually was not as good as a movie.
Yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. It almost has the same exact plot. Have you ever seen the movie Army of the Dead?
Yeah.
You have? Yeah. The Netflix one?
No, I haven't seen that.
I know you're Amish. I was leading up to it that you don't have internet. You Amish fuck. Anyway, so there's this movie called Army of the Dead on Netflix. It stars Dave Bautista. And basically Vegas gets infected by a zombie apocalypse. They quarantine it. They have to go back in it to rob a casino. And that movie was a piece of shit. So, in comparison, Peninsula looked like Forrest Gump, and compared to fucking the other one, it's not Bautista's fault. It's the fucking guy who directed it. What's his name? Zack Snyder. Which is a shit. Anyway, the movie pissed me off. It was just like the last 20 minutes. He's like, let me wipe my ass and rub it on this camera. Anyway. So, compared to that, Peninsula looked like fucking goddamn, like a shining star. So they want to go, they know where a big supply of cash is. So they send a bunch of poor folks in Hong Kong over to South Korea to go get this stuff. And, of course, nothing goes right for these folks. And instantly, like, they get attacked by another group. They get saved by another group. One thing, Dwayne, I didn't like in this one, in the first movie, lots of zombie kills. And this movie, not a whole lot of zombie kills.
No.
Almost every character you meet doesn't get killed by a zombie. Like, most of them are by other survivors. So it's kind of, it's like, it's supposed to be a zombie film. Now, there is zombie kills, but it's a bunch of nobodies. And another thing I didn't like that I did like in the first one is it's like the redemption thing. Both of them kind of have a redemption arc. The first one is the dad trying to become a good father. And this one, it was a guy who was a military soldier, and he was trying to get his family to when they're evacuating everybody to Hong Kong or whatever. He was on his way there with his family, and on the way there, they see another family stranded on the side of the road, and he drives by him, and he leaves them. And then he takes his family onto the boat, which really doesn't work out for him because his sister and his nephew get killed on the boat, and it's just him and his brother-in-law left. And his brother-in-law blames him heavily and says he didn't do enough. It's like, okay, I don't know why nobody saw that one guy hibbying. He's fucking hibbying in the corner. I saw that shit a mile away. No one else fucking noticed that. Anyway, he feels guilty for not only letting his brother-in-law down, he feels guilty for leaving that family there. And after they get attacked by the group, he manages to get away, get saved by another group, which turns out to be the fucking family he left. And you think, oh man, that's the family he abandoned. This is going to be a huge plot point later. But halfway through the movie, he admits it, and she goes, oh well. And I was like, they could have really played on that a little more.
Yeah, she says, like, you were one of 31 cars that drove by us that day or something.
Yeah.
No big deal, you left us to die.
And I was like, oh, okay. I feel like they could have really played on that later. Because eventually her husband ends up getting killed. I guess he lived for a little bit, but he ended up getting killed at some point. Didn't really show it. And then his brother-in-law gets kidnapped by the rival gang, so they go over there to A, get the money back, B, get his phone to get out of there, and C, get his brother-in-law back. And they put his brother-in-law into like some kind of like a fight pit, almost like a big arena, which was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. Was they put these people in this arena, and they open this door and zombies run out. There's one zombie that's almost like a hybrid monster ball fusion zombie that's like this big mess of fucking zombies all in one. I was like, what the fuck is that? That was fucking freaky as shit. And that was kind of cool. So you kind of rooting for him too, because he survived like the first round, and then they're about to put him into a second round. And then the main character comes back, tries to save his brother-in-law, and he gets him out there. And like before they can get out, his brother-in-law gets shot. I was like, why? What the fuck? What's the point of going through all that? They could have been home by then, And if I don't know, I was like, well, shit, his brother-in-law's dead. And so they leave anyway, which, if he didn't go back for the brother-in-law, they could have made a smooth sailing exit. So then they run, and then the crew's chasing after him. And another complaint I have, Dwayne, is during this huge car scene, I mean, you can tell almost everything's CGI here, and it don't look great. But, like, I'm not a big nitpicker. Oh, that almost sounded bad. I'm not a big person, I want to nitpick CGI a whole lot. But it did kind of look, you can kind of definitely tell this is heavily CGI'd. But even though, it was, there's some badass scenes with that car when they were driving around South Korea. Really good, cool ass scenes during that.
Yeah, when they're trying to escape and there's a car chase and everything, I'm thinking, okay, this car chase has been on for 10 minutes now.
Yeah, a lot of shit in the car.
Okay, so we're talking about this car scene, right? And yeah, you can tell it's heavily CGI, but we're talking like the car chase is like over 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Fast and Furious because they're driving and one was hitting the emergency brake and spinning and knocking out zombies and making turns. And I guess maybe they have experience driving like that, but it's like, isn't it like a young girl doing some of that stuff
Teenage
too?
girl.
Yeah, driving like that.
I guess
expect a teenage girl to drive like that, but
I guess since there's nobody else on the road, she gets a
Yeah.
lot of experience.
But yeah, there's a pretty long. I thought it was long. I was like, how long is this chase gonna go? And I know it's got a purpose because you have to get rid of some characters, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's having someone crash and someone do this and that. And but I thought that drew on a little longer than it should have. And like you said, the CGI. I mean, I wasn't really interested in the big car chase.
Yeah, it was cool though. Like the scene was pretty badass, but it was quite long. Had some interesting like car moves. There's no way this car would be fucking standing after all this. But yeah, I mean they managed to get to. They're trying to get away with the money and they got this crew picking them up, and of course it's the last second they end up the bad guy ends up getting the money away, and he goes and they pick him up and instantly shoot him and kill him, and but then you're like, oh fuck, I guess they're gonna stay there and live there. And like, what are they gonna do? So at the very end, these people show up to save them. Who they only really talk about in one other scene, and then they just happen to show up. I was like, I kind of wish they would have delved into that more. Like, oh yeah, that's because I know the grandpa was talking about Jane at one point, and then. Oh yeah, that's from that one scene where he said he was talking to her.
He said he's talking to her on their radio, that Major Jane or something like that. And then Major Jane shows up right at the end to be the saviors.
Yeah, but then it looks like the mom got her leg hurt, and she's willing to sacrifice herself. You're like, oh god, it's gonna be like Train to Busan, where the dad sacrifices himself, and then they stare at her for 3 minutes, and she's like sitting there, and then like. The kids won't leave without her, and she puts the gun up to her mouth like she's like, I'm gonna kill myself, so they know to go. And then at the last second, he goes, I guess I'll go save her. Yeah. And he goes there, kills all the zombies, and they get out of there. So, this one it looks like they're gonna do another sacrifice ending, sad ending, but it turns out pretty good. They all got away except Grandpa, who kind of got shot at the last second, which is kind of dumb. That's one of my biggest complaints. Like, everybody got killed by a gunshot. This is a zombie film. I get it. There's all kinds of survivor versus survivor groups, and But all the major deaths gotta be by another person. Nah, we don't have to do that. Dwayne?
Okay, so after I'm watching this movie for a little while, and I know it's not going to live up to Train to Busan, I think this is just a rehash of Escape from New York. The reason why I say that is they have to go in and get something. Of course, Escape from New York was going to get the president. These guys are going in to steal money. It was American dollars, so they could spend it like anywhere in the world. One of the best things I saw, though, was when they're going back there and they're on a boat and they're going by all the boats that had gotten infected, and they had all the they're like just sitting in the water. So it's at night, it's dark, and you see all these like ghost ships just sitting in the water having to navigate through them. And I was like, wow, all those ships had people get infected on them and stuff. They just abandoned them right there in the harbor and stuff. And that was a cool scene. It was really like
it did look kind of spooky.
Yeah, it was very spooky looking scene. But then they get in. They get separated, they get back together, separated, back together, they're fighting gangs of people, kind of like Escape from New York. There's a bunch of them that were on Manhattan Island, whatever, and they're gangs, they made their own gangs and how they're surviving and stuff, and then there's a big car chase at the end to get away. And there's arena fights like there were in Escape from New York and everything, so I mean, it just kind of, that's how I looked at it, was like, this is kind of like a rehash of that. It wasn't a horrible movie at all. I mean, there's some good scenes in it, but it was mostly, to me, it was mostly like a background movie. When I say that, is like I'm watching it and I'm like, well, if I turn my head for 2 minutes, I may not miss a whole lot. I might, but I didn't think I did. Once in a while, when I went to the kitchen or went to the bathroom or something, I did like some of the scenes. Like the car chase was a little girl at the beginning when she's trying to save the main character.
And they did some cool stuff like an RC. As a light up. That was really cool.
Yeah, they had some cool scenes and stuff. They had some good things they thought of. But it just, I didn't think it was going to live up to Train to Busan. Yeah. And it did not.
Now, would you have liked this movie if it wasn't a sequel? I think I would have.
I think I maybe would have enjoyed it a little more. I thought I was just trying to, it's kind of hard to watch Train to Busan and then that right after it. Yeah. It was a little rough going from really good, heartbreaking, really well, almost perfect 9 out of 10 movie to this, which was a good, I'll tell you, my rating on it is going to be like a 6. I mean, it's a good movie. It's not great. I may go maybe 7, but I think it's going to be about a 6.
Okay. Man, I'm kind of torn. I thought the movie was fun, but I think it's in the bigger shadow, and I think it hurt the movie a lot. There was this, like I said earlier, the first one had this big emotional ending, and I felt like this one was trying to replicate it, but I don't feel like the character development was there for it to work. I don't know. It almost felt like it was trying to do that. And, but I did overall enjoy it. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before I total up?
No, kind of like you said, I did enjoy it. I was expecting some emotional ending, and it looked like the mom was going to sacrifice herself, but it didn't happen. Yeah. You did enjoy the character development with the main character, the people he came in with. Those other 2 people, like they were gone like 5 minutes after the kid. His brother-in-law, you kind of got some character development on him.
Yeah, I kind of cared.
He kind of cared for him, but then he didn't make it that long after the arena.
No.
And then the family that helped him, you cared for them. You had some character out of them, but none of the gang that they were with. Even though they tried to make some development with the leader and his assistant, and then that sergeant and stuff. He didn't care for them. No. Not at all. The people that hired him to go in and get the money, he didn't care for them. Not at all. The main character in the family, you had some investment in him, but it was nothing. To me, it was nothing like the character development of all the main characters in Train to Busan. Yeah. The teenage kids, the guy with his pregnant wife, the dad, the sisters, the little girl, all that. Even the asshole in there, he had character. Yeah. He was just was a money grubbing, pain in the ass, and wanted to survive and sacrifice everybody. Yeah. This one, you're like, well, that person got killed. That kind of sucks, but okay.
Yeah.
You know, not as much character development, I thought.
Are you leaving your final score on the 6?
I could take it to 7. I was leaning towards 7. I thought about it. I said 6, but I'll go with 7.
Going 7. All right. Here are my pros and cons for Peninsula. Fun, action-filled zombie adventure. Still pretty good writing and acting and directing. Still had its emotional moments. Not as sour of an ending as the first. Has a cool ass arena pit. Cool driving scenes. Cons. Writing and story took a dip for the action. Kind of weak CGI. It was too much in the shadow of Train to Busan. Alright guys, I'm giving Peninsula 8 zombie monster fusion balls out of 10.
It's Tasia, Tasia, Tasia. It's Tasia.
That's me!
The Tasia Review Show, starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of Peninsula, and I also enjoyed this movie.
Alright, it's time to total up tonight's scores. Where does it make it on the leaderboard? And here's how the leaderboard looks with Australia 46 points, China 42, France at 36. And when we total up South Korea, it has a total of 48 points going into first place, knocking France out of the tournament. And it goes into first place. South Korea, 48 points. Australia, 46 in second place. And China, 42, holding the bronze medal. Stay tuned to after the credits, and you'll find out what country we're heading to next. It's now time for our final segment, Kill of the Night.
The streets alive. I'm gonna lure you into the dark. My cold desire to hear the boom, boom, boom of your heart. The danger is I'm dangerous, and I might just tear you apart. Oh, 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 oh. I'm gonna catch ya, I'm gonna get ya. Oh, oh, oh. I wanna taste the way that you bleed. Oh, you're my kill of the night.
Dwayne, we had 3 awesome movies. What do you think Kill of the Night would go to?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to think about it right now. The Wailing had some killings. It probably had the most vicious killing, I think, when the cops killed the dog.
Oh, when that cop, yeah, he beat him to death.
Yeah. I know there were a lot of killings in the other movies, but just for scenes, him killing the dog and then the Japanese guy just standing there watching him, and then after the dog's dead, the crows were eating it and everything.
Yeah.
And it didn't, the Japanese guy just like ignored it and everything. There are a lot of killings in the other 2 movies, but that one kind of stuck out with me.
My favorite was, surprisingly enough, Peninsula. And that was when they're in the pit. And this fucking zombie monster thing that are all around, and one guy gets trapped in it. And he kind of like, I guess, kind of fuses with it almost. I don't know how that works. But it's freaky as fuck. He kind of got put into this weird monster ball. That thing was kind of freaky as shit to me. I don't know, that one might be my favorite. Tasia, did you have a favorite?
Not really.
Yeah, it's kind of hard with a standout
I don't really have
killing.
a favorite.
Yeah, they didn't have a standout kill in these 3. Most Train to Busan ones were just like a simple fights and stuff.
Maybe the dad at the end, with how heartfelt that death was.
Yeah.
It wasn't as violent as the others. It was just more heartfelt.
Yeah. But I like the brutality of the one from Peninsula. Alright, Taser, did you like, which one, out of those, which ones did you like the most?
Which movie?
No, the kills. There was the dog kill, where he killed the dog. In Wailing, there's the one guy in the pit who got surrounded, who got kind of engulfed in that zombie monster.
Yeah.
There was the dad getting killed at the end of the first one. What would you say got killed in the night?
I guess the pit.
The pit one?
Yeah, the pit one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one will just be like a horrible fate, because you're like, I'm going to spend the rest of my afterlife in this fucking monster. That'd be horrible. Reminds me of a Doctor Who episode where there's this monster guy and he absorbs people, and he's there like kind of like Freddy Krueger. When he lifts his shirt up, you can see the kids speaking out. This monster had that. He had some girl in his ass. I was like, what a horrible fate. It was a weird episode. And anyway, kind of reminded me of that. So that was this week's Kill of the Night. Dwayne, did you have fun today?
I absolutely did.
Alright, I hope you guys did too. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's The Monster Dome. Go to my other channel if you don't mind, the Cool Kids with Asthma. We also have a Patreon right here. You can, we got some cool exclusives. All our videos up there are up. It's only $3 a month. Help us out a lot. If you don't want to do that, don't want to pay once a month, hey, maybe like a one-time donation at our Cash App. That'd be awesome. We'd be able to do these a lot more at a more frequent speed. If people start donating, that'd be awesome. We also have a Facebook. We have an Instagram. That might be it, I think, yeah. So if you guys don't mind following that, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and stay tuned to after the credits, and you'll find out where our next destination is in the Horror Around the World tournament.
Centuries hidden in space, sincere hope and wise belief, they can teach our race. And yet our falls on the darker side, like all things that God made, they try the war with people not, and they must obey. See the fire in the skies, see them devastate the land. Mars attacks, the war deep lands. See human bodies die. See our planet laid to waste. Mars attacks. Monsters invade the earth through space. It's then in our darkest hour when everything seemed lost. Their hearts burn, the night can see, no matter what the cost. They forged the sword, sound of steel upon the Martian doors. The voice of war would thunder there. Why would be no more? See the Martian cities fall. See the death of the warrior tribe. Mars attacks. Now the planet won't survive. See the one ready to rise. See the terror on their face. Mars cast out its bubble into space.
Alright guys, thank you for staying with us after the credits. Dwayne, this is my favorite part of the show. where I get to tell you where we're going next week in our Horror Around the World tournament. Where do you think we're going?
I have absolutely no idea.
No idea. We've been to Germany. We've been to France. We've been to China, Australia, and we just did South Korea. Well, before I tell you where we're going, I'll go ahead and tell you this. We are doing True Detective Season 2. We did the first season here. I was like, you know what? I started watching the first episode years ago when this came out. For some reason it didn't click with me. I thought, you know what? It's redemption time. Let me try watching Season 2 again. So we will be doing True Detective Season 2. And, well, we're kind of going to a neighbor of a place we've already done. We've done Australia. So now we're going to New Zealand. Yes. Fun fact, I've seen 2 out of the 3 movies we're fixing to review. Anything you think I'm going to bring out of this bag?
Brain Dead?
Brain Dead? You think Brain Dead?
Dead Alive is the other name of it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it's only New Zealand horror movie I've seen by Peter Jackson.
Okay.
Unless I've seen some of these I didn't know from New Zealand.
Well, this is by Peter Jackson. It's called Bad Taste.
Bad Taste. Okay.
Peter Jackson's Bad Taste. By the way, the goddamn DVD keeps sliding out too. So that's kind of pissing me the fuck off. Okay, so don't put it in this one. Bad Taste. I think this is Peter Jackson, the guy who made King Kong, the guy who made Lord of the Rings. I believe this was his first movie called Bad Taste. And boy howdy, this looks like a piece of shit. But that's kind of an oddball one I want to throw in there. And these next 2 I've actually seen. The first one, we did a lot of zombie movies this week. We got one more on the next episode. It's a little horror film called Black Sheep.
Okay.
Yes, Black Sheep. It is zombie sheep. I've seen it once before. And I'm going to watch it again for... the damn tabs fell off, or got ripped off. We're going to watch it on the next episode. And the final movie we're going to watch, this one is a ghost film. It's called Housebound. Have you heard of this?
I don't believe I have.
Don't look up reviews for any of these.
No.
This movie, I know I've seen it. I think I made Tazia watch it too. We're going to have fun. We're going to watch these. And I think New Zealand, hey, who knows? New Zealand might make it on. Maybe they'll beat South Korea for the #1 spot. I'm really excited to dive in to We're really excited to dive into New Zealand on the next episode of The Monster Dome.